Okay, so the next topic in this, we want to say after setting theme, character, and the plot is various interpretations. And with that, we will do thematic study also, thematic study and various interpretations of the play. So I hope you might have kept the document open and have a bird's eye view, on the important aspects, which later on you can read thoroughly to get your ideas, but bird's eye view. So very quickly you can help me in discussing major interpretations possible of the play, The Birthday Party. Okay. In the previous document also, which was about setting character, there also in brief, you will find the same aspects in brief there. And then it is also in here in a separate, as a separate answer, it is given in this document. The ambiguity and the mystery of the play, as the things are not clearly told to us, gives a very interesting opportunity to read the play in different ways. As we have seen earlier, that as we look at the life of Harold Pinter and his political activism around the artist and the other political encroachment of powerful nations in the matters of the smaller countries, that also gives us this idea about the point that the very idea that the artist also can be read as small countries also. Artists can be read as small countries. Both the things get connected from his political activism in the reading of this play. Yeah. Okay, so the birthday party and various interpretations. Okay. Various interpretations here. Okay. Yes, so one by one, I would request you to help me in going through this. Okay. So initial paragraph, you see that it is a theater of absurd ambiguity, time, place, identity, and the disintegration of language. Biographer Michael Bellington in the work titled as the Harold Pinter, yes, echoing Pinter's own retrospective view of it. Retrospectively, so a very early play, but retrospectively, when we look at this thing, we find very interesting interpretation of this play. The Birthday Party is a deeply political play. It's a very deeply political play. Michael Bellington observes this retrospectively. Play about the individual's imperative need for resistance. Individual imperative need for resistance. This being a rebel. And for artists, this is necessary. Yeah? For artists, each and every word that artist writes, or each and every painting, drawing, anything the artist does, is supposed to be an act of rebel. Rebel against society, culture, language, existence, politics, whatever, religion, whatever it is. But it is always individual imperative need for resistance or rebel. That is also one of the way of looking that if I am happy with the world and everything is good, if God is in the heaven and we all are happy on this earth, as Victorian poets used to sing the songs about the happiness of everybody and God is in the heaven, that idea, then what is the urge to write? Then what is the need to write? Not only urge, but need to write. Unless we feel uneasiness about our existence, unless we feel that, well, I want to tell something, unless there are the songs of sorrow, there are songs of sorrow, songs of pain, agony, or some kinds of becheni, some kinds of restlessness. Without that, what is the use of writing? That is one of the way of looking at the role of literature in society, wherein even post-colonial argument, the Bill Ashcroft also was talking about this idea, this resistance and rebel, that becomes very significant here also. Yet, according to Bellington, though the doubts whether this was conscious on Pinter's part, it is also a private, obsessive work about time past, about some vanished world, either real or idealized, into which all but one of the characters readily escapes. From the very outset, the defining quality of Pinter's play is not so much fear and menace, though they are undoubtedly present, as a yearning for some lost Eden, yearning for some lost Eden, as a refuge from the uncertain miasmic present. That is how it tries to see this, that how we see this present and how it goes into that. So lost Eden, some kinds of things are lost, some things are snatched away from us, and that urge keeps on driving as a driving force in Pinter's life to write about it. Arnold Hinchcliffe, Polish critic, points out, quoted by Arnold Hinchcliffe, Polish critic George Cinco points out that the birthday party, we see the destruction of the victim from the victim's own point of view. We see the destruction of victim from victim's own point of view. One feels like saying that the two executioners, Goldberg and McCann, stand for all the principles of the state and social conformism. State and social conformism. Goldberg refers to his job in a typically Kafkaesque official language, which deprives the crimes of all sense and reality. Of Stanley's removal, maybe Stanley will meet his death there, we don't know where, but there, or maybe he will only receive a conformist brainwashing, after which he is promised many other gifts of civilization. He is promised many gifts of civilization. We will give you new spectacles. They say that we will give you brand new spectacles. So when we will give you the spectacles, you will see what we want you to see. And why don't you see the world the way we wanted you to see? Why don't you see? Your spectacles have a problem. You are a good person, Stanley. You are a good person, but what you are seeing is problematic. That is because of your spectacles. So we'll take away your spectacles. We'll give you brand new spectacles. So you see, and then we will give you bungalow, we will give you car, we will promote you, we will give you awards and everything. You will be a very happy person. And these promises are given, brainwashing that, but write as we want you to be written, as we want to tell. That way you write. Don't write the way you want to write. That is problematic to us. So write the way we want it to be written, and then it will be a great world for you. So the society, the politics, that how they want the artists to write for them, how they want to write, they make them the people who would write from that idea is very importantly coming here. Another play, On the Rod, and this question is responding to Gassot's question. Pinter refers to all three plays when he replies this. It's the destruction of an individual, the independent voice of an individual. I believe that is precisely what the United States is doing to Nicaragua. It's horrifying act. It was, if you see child abuse, you recognize it and you are horrified. If you do it yourself, you apparently don't know what you are doing. So that's how he says that if you see child abuse, then you are horrified. But if you do child abuse, you don't see the damage of child abuse, what is happening to the other person. The same thing is what United States is doing with small countries, Nicaragua, Guatemala, and many other countries, with reference we will take later on also. So what is this powerful nations doing? So Stanley, when you see Stanley and this Nat Goldberg and McCann, Dermont, there's no A, McCann, yeah. So we see that Stanley is an artist He's an artist who want to write in a free way, and these are the agents of political, social, cultural, religious aspects of society, aspects of our life. Yeah. So they want artists to write in a particular way. As we see the example of Netflix, case against Netflix, that there is the film A Suitable Boy, yeah? And then there are some scenes in temple, and then some people say that, well, I have a problem, religious problem. I have, some say I have a cultural problem, some say I have a political problem, some say I have a social problem, and this should be removed. You should not do this, you should not do that. So the artist, and will say, artist, I will do it. Well, will not allow you to do that. Conflict, that power struggle, constantly uh, keeps on underplaying this character in this. So that is one. Another one, he is we can say small country. Small country, but not only small. It is also the country which is, you can say, communist or socialist. In a way, we can say the country which is not capitalist. Not capitalist country. So capitalist countries will try to see that either you become like us, or we will not allow you to exist. We will see that there are some problems in your country. There will be a constant, what we call it, civil war. Constant civil war in your country. Your people will keep on fighting among themselves. What we see in this, most of the countries, Nicaragua's example is given here, Guatemala's example is given there, and many countries, because of Corona also, lots of violence, lots of people on the road, no functioning of government. You will find these countries by and large were anti-capitalist countries. They were also communist or socialist countries also, which are under this. And then the countries, the larger powerful countries, economically, politically powerful, they don't allow this to happen. So that is what Michael Bellington says, that when retrospectively we look at this place with what became something very important for Harold Pinter, and his vision, the way it developed later on about looking at the world order, and how this big countries and small countries relations, or capitalist countries and socialist countries relations, started developing. In that context, the this interpretation becomes very important to give in this play. So very interesting too, very interesting interpretations, which are very much important in our life also, today also, in today's time also, are these two: Stanley as an artist, or you can say a socialist country, a poor small socialist country. Poor and small also is necessary, because China also is a communist country, Russia also is socialist country, but you can't do that damage to Russia or China, because they are very powerful. You can't go into civil war in those countries. But smaller than you are, because Stanley is a small artist, and so he can be easily manipulated with the help of other things. So that is the other aspect, and this is what becomes very important in his Nobel Prize speech also, Pinter's Nobel Prize speech. There also it becomes very important there. Theme of absurdity we know, so we are not discussing that. You can read that, and you can come to know about it.
Sir, one question.
Yes, yeah.
Sir,
Yes.
if Stanley and Ned Goldberg and these two characters can be placed in this political struggle, so where can we put the rest of the characters like PT, Meg, and Lulu?
So PT and Meg, these two characters are those other countries which normally remain silent. They normally, and see, there is in an original play. If you can open the original play, let me open and see. Let me share the screen. There is an interesting statement spoken by PT. That is what I would like to. At the end of the play, almost at the end of the play, let me share the screen. Yes, okay. So the characters like PT and Meg or Lulu also, these characters, we can see that they are the other countries which want to be with Stanley. They understand that, well, Stanley is right, these countries are right, but then they have to bow down to powerful countries because even their economy, their relations will be spoiled. They will not have a choice. If there are two forces are emerging in the world politically, as China and USA, then one has to be either on the side, either this side or that. So you can't remain now independent. That no, I am not either with this or that. You have to. If you remain aloof, then both of them may also attack. Both of them also attack them. But PT at the end, when he says that don't take Stanley, we will take care of Stanley, and then Ned Goldberg and throw some money. Says that take your money, લો તમારા પૈસા, તમારું કામ પૂરું. તમારે બીજું એમાં સાથે આવવું હોય તો ચલો, ગાડીમાં હજી જગ્યા છે. Ned Goldberg says, do you want to come? There is still a space in the car. Do you want to come to Monty? But he's broken. PT cannot have that courage to do that. But he tells last word. Jata Stanley ne કહે છે, Stan, don't let them tell you what to do. Don't let them tell you what to do. Pinter told that I have lived by this line throughout my life. I have lived by this line throughout my life. I will not let any powerful people to tell me what I have to do. I will not be bow down to any of this power. That is what he said. I have lived. It is not possible for everybody to live in this way. So this PT may have a sympathy, but only sympathy. You take your money, put in your pocket, and that's fine. Well, I have to run my own country. Then Meg kind of characters, they remain in utopia. They remain in an illusory utopia. These countries that, well, everything is okay. There is no problem. Everything is beautiful. Sab changasi. That is Meg. Meg always believe in this. Sab kuch theek thak hai. Koi chinta mat karo. Everything is okay with the world. That is Meg kind of. And by and large, the people, bourgeois class, they are like Meg. They said that, well, it was wonderful. I was ballet of the dance party. People praised me, and life is wonderful. They keep on celebrating the life, irrespective of what damages are happening within their own home to somebody. PT is aware about it. He is very unhappy also about it, but cannot do anything. He is helpless, completely helpless. And Lulu are those kind of countries which tries to be with them, but they are also broken. They try to support, but they are totally shattered in their attempt to support these all countries also. How they also get broken into this thing. That way we can see all this character. So it's not only countries, but even society also. Countries and society. When artists, we see then the people who want to speak for the artist, they cannot speak. They are also like today, they all are trolled like anything. Today, they all are trolled like anything. And in the countries also, there are so many countries where these relations keep on happening in different ways also. If this is let me see if I can get very quickly this picture. This was like the point which when people were talking about Iraq, Iran, and other kinds of things at that time, when the conflict between Iraq and Iran, where Iran and USA was interfering at that time, this kinds of image were viral, or these photographs, like countries attacked by bombing, sabotage, or attempted government overthrow since Second World War. So which country has done this thing in the world? Which country? So well, we find that Iran almost know, like where they have bombed other countries, sabotage or attempted government overthrow. But in the what USA has done after Second World War, we can say that there is no world war. But it doesn't mean that there was peace also. There was no world war after Second World War. But like 50 to 70 years, it was not that everybody were happy. There were nobody fighting. Lots of struggles were going. And in all those things, these big countries played a very vital role. Big countries at one or the other. Now, in all this thing, you can say some countries were Lulu, some were Meg, some were PT, somewhere Stanley. Big countries like Iran or Iraq or Syria or Afghanistan, they were like Stanley, who were resisting strongly. They were resisting. So they are completely shattered. Whereas other countries, they try to support or try to remain independent. So they are like Lulu or Meg, or that all countries you can see here in this country, how many countries had faced a kind of this sabotage or government overthrow or bombing in this context also. So these all countries can be seen in that context also. If time will permit, when we'll study the article, we will give many more examples to see how this foreign policy dynamics of USA has done damage to so many such small countries in the world also, and in what way also that happens there. Okay? For example, I remember this example. If you have you played the game Contra? Yes? Contra game you might have played. Anybody remembers playing Contra game?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes, Contra. So it was a very popular video game. The old days video game, not a digital
Yes,
game.
sir. It was the arcade version of Contra, very old version, arcade.
And people used to play. So the Contras were heroes. No? This Contra, they were heroes there. Now, if you see this, the idea of Contras in, let me find that. Let me find some these pages here. When you search this, then you find this image of Contras. And it seems to be, when you see this image, you seem to be like a Naxalite group, armed force, going ready for civil war or to fight, a terror group kind of a thing. That image you get when you see this. And when you see this Contras, Wikipedia entry of the Contras, they were the various US-backed and funded right-wing rebel groups that were active from 79 to early 1990s in opposition of Marxist Sandinista junta of National Reconstruction government in Nicaragua. So this that what happens is that USA sends the people, they train their own people in these countries. Their own people are trained to fight against their own people. Now, this were this Contras who were playing a vital role in this. But why this reference? This even Guatemalan Civil War. Guatemalan Civil War, if you see this. And okay, let me see here. Contra Nicaragua. Yeah, this, if you see, you will find these images. Yeah, this all image of violence, of terror groups, people. Now, this all, as this entry goes, Wikipedia says that these are all United States supported right-wing rebels, civil war in different countries there. Now, why this reference to game? Because, see, while the other world was playing the game, they were not aware that what Contras are doing. They are damaging countries. And then we were enjoying the game, like Contra is my hero. For me, Contra was the hero. Actually, Contra was not the hero. Contra was supported by the America, and they were doing violence and civil war in their country. But then the other world was given an image that the video game that you are playing is this. So this is how we become somebody like Meg, and we keep on enjoying the video game, not knowing that what these Contras are actually doing in other part of the world, not knowing absolutely there. So this all images and the kind of a thing that we see, that how they get the support from the powerful countries to damage their own country in different capacity. That is how we can read this here. Okay? So these are if you read these countries, and then you have this all political dynamism of so many such small countries being destroyed, damaged. And one of the reasons that come common, one common reason that comes here is this, that by and large these countries were not capitalist countries. So how that also plays a vital role in destroying the idea of communism, communist, socialist countries against this also. That also can be read in these things also there. Okay? Yes, any other questions if you have? Yes, okay. Well, apart from these two major themes of reading this play in such a way, politically or artistically, either of this, there are other themes like theme of blindness, that plays. And then this is very important. It can be read in this context also, in this context. In both this context also, we can read this theme of blindness also. While there is birthday party going on, they play a game. And that game is blind man's buff. Blind man's buff, Andhro Pato. Ramat Rameshyam. And then we all have played this game, this blind man's buff. And we know turn by turn people will have to give their turn and other kinds of things there. But when we see this symbolically, we obviously find that Pinter perhaps want to say that, see, who is playing this game, with whom? કોણ કોની સાથે આવી રમત રમે છે આંધ્ર પાટો કરવાની? અને ઘણી વખત લોકો સામેથી કે હું દાવ દઉં, લાવો મને આંખે પાટા બાંધી દો, ભક્તો જે આપણે કહીએ. And many of those devotees of many of these power structures, devotees of power structures, they readily they said કે ચલો હું દાવ દઉં, કે મારે આંખે પાટા બાંધી દો. એ સામેથી પાટો લઈને જાય કે બાંધી દો તમે, નહીં તો હું પોતે જ આંખો પાટા બાંધીને દાવ દેવા તૈયાર છું. તો એ અને પેલા લોકો દાવ લે, એ લોકો બરાબરનો દાવ લે, કારણ કે લોકો દાવ દેવા તૈયાર છે અને પેલા લોકોને દાવ લેવાની પણ ખૂબ મજા આવે. So this idea, blind man's buff, is very interesting, that how it unfolds there. And that's why this idea, that Mohra reference that we are talking, કે અહીંયા બીજાની આંખો ઉપર પાટા બાંધીને તમે રમત રમો, ક્યારેક તમે તમારી આંખ ઉપર પાટા બાંધીને પણ રમત રમી શકાય, ક્યારેક તમે પોતે જ બ્લાઇન્ડ થાવ અને પછી રમત રમો, તમે એ રીતે પણ લોકોને છેતરી શકો. So either way you can say, but blind man's buff, આંધ્રા પાટાની રમત, it's a very interesting game which can be seen as a very interesting symbol in either of this thing, that how by and large the people are not allowed to see the artist in proper perspective, or not to see even these countries, smaller countries, into proper perspective. We are told another story about all those things. That story is so powerful that in that verbal, the language, the words, એટલા બધા ચકાચોંધ લઈને આવે કે આપણે એકદમ આંધળા થઈ જાય. આપણે આંખે પાટા બાંધવાની જરૂર ન પડે. એ પાટા શું, તો એ શબ્દોના પાટા બની જાય. શબ્દો, લોજિક, આર્ગ્યુમેન્ટ એવી પાવરફુલ થઈને આપણી સામે આવે કે એની ચકાચોંધમાં જ આપણે એકદમ વ્હાઇટ બ્લાઇન્ડનેસમાં ચાલ્યા જાય. વ્હાઇટ બ્લાઇન્ડનેસ, ધીસ પેન્ડેમિકની જે વાર્તા એક આપણે નવલકથામાં જોઈ હતી, સિમ્બોલિકલ, કે એવો વાયરસ ફેલાય કે લોકોમાં વ્હાઇટ બ્લાઇન્ડનેસ આવી જાય છે, ચકાચોંધની એક બ્લાઇન્ડનેસ, અને પાટો બાંધવાની જરૂર નથી, આપણે એમનેમ બ્લાઇન્ડ થઈ જાય. And then we don't see the artists in proper perspective, or the countries or any other thing which are suffering from Ned Goldberg kind of people, McCann or Monty kind of people, that how what they keep on doing to the world, the Monty of the world, yes, USA, UK, and this all kind of things there. So that is very interesting there. Society's treatment of artists, we have seen briefly here. Theme of death, you can just go through it and go through it, read, and let me know tomorrow if you have any problem in this. Process of growing into adulthood from childhood can also be read as one of the themes in this play. Yeah, political view, as we have discussed here, also in this. Theme of power play and personality clash also is a very interesting thing. Last point for today, in the thematic and interpretation, that theme of power play and personality clash here. Let me give an example here. In this play, there are lots of power play. There is lots of conflict, personality clash, and that happens at many places in this play. Stanley is not that easily bowing down to Ned Goldberg and McCann. He conflicts, he fights with them. And so initially, when he has a chance to interact with McCann, he also tries to play a power game with McCann and says that, well, you don't know what you are doing. I own this house. I am here. It is my house. I will tell everybody who you are. So he tries to exercise his power and very insultingly behaves with these people. He also kicks Ned Goldberg. એક વખત તો એને કિક મારી દે છે. So he is doing physical violence. And so at that time, he was in power position. And then at that time, when they were still in doubt whether are we at the right place, are we doing the right job, is this the person with whom we have to do all these things, when they were still in doubt, at that time Stanley is power, and they are still little bit subdued, and he exercised. But slowly and steadily, in a very beautiful interrogation scene, there is interrogation scene, powerful, very beautiful scene, where there is torrent of language, series of questions which are posed by these two, and through this verbal torture, Stanley is broken. Stanley is broken by language. એટલે લેંગ્વેજ એક હથિયાર બને અને એ હથિયારમાં પ્રશ્નો અને ભાષાનો હથિયાર તરીકે ઉપયોગ કરી અને સ્ટેનલીને તોડી નાખવામાં આવે છે, માનસિક રીતે એમને તોડી નાખવામાં આવે. That is a very beautiful scene, wherein we also come to know his language aspect, how Pinter uses language and how he uses silence. There are two types of silences in Pinter's play. Two types of. One is when nobody speaks. We can understand it. Another silence when there is lots of words, lots of speaking, lots of noise. In that also we can't listen or understand anything. ત્યારે બહુ શોર બકોર થાય ત્યારે પણ આપણે મગજથી એકદમ બહાર મારી જાય, કાંઈ વસ્તુ અંદર જાય જ નહીં. That is another silence. So that is utilized here to empower Stanley. Torrent of language, torrent of questions, all stupid questions. He can't say either yes or no. કાંઈ પણ કે ફસાઈ જાય, હા કે તોય ફસાઈ જાય, ના કહે તોય ફસાઈ જાય. That way it goes there. Yes, Seema wanted to say anything. I'm not able to get your voice.
No, sir, no.
But your sound is on. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So this Stanley, and then with the help of that question, he is completely overpowered. He's completely overpowered by Ned Goldberg and McCann, and then he is not able to come out from that. He's not able to speak. He's completely subdued and broken. So that power conflict between these three characters is worth watching. So when we watch the film at that time, keep this in mind, observe it carefully, so you can write about this theme of power play and personality clash in this also. Then even in Meg's case, in Meg and PT, this character like Meg and PT, as we have seen this initial dialogues, this initial that PT is reading newspaper, newspaper. Now, newspaper can be seen symbolically also as some element of power play. Newspaper can also, because it is also symbol, it can be seen as power. Now, the one who reads newspaper is more informed, and so he is more in power position. The one who reads, one who knows, is always in power position. એટલે કોઈ એક દ્રશ્ય તમે જુઓ કે ત્યાં એક વ્યક્તિ પેપર વાંચતું હોય ને બીજું એમને બેઠું હોય ને પૂછતું હોય કે શું સમાચાર છે, તો પેલું વાંચનાર હંમેશા પાવર પોઝિશનમાં છે. He is in the power position, અને પેલું પૂછનાર છે એ subdued, automatic એ પોઝિશન બની જાય છે. So when you open a paper and when you see anywhere, કોઈ પણ ફિલ્મ જોતા હો, કોઈ પણ નાટક જોતા હો, કોઈ સાહિત્ય, એમાં કોઈ પેપર વાંચતું જોવા મળે તો સમજવું કે there is a statement made by director. There is a statement that this person is somewhere powerful. Newspaper can be the symbol of the power dynamics there. PT is reading newspaper. Yes, PT reads a newspaper there. So newspaper is the symbol of power. Yeah. Newspaper is the symbol of power. PT is reading. He is in the power positions here. And Meg is asking, what are the news? And then he says the news of somebody's birth. And PT ne પછી આગળ નથી બોલવું એ બાબતે, પણ Meg કહે છે કે ના, કે શું છે. Now, what is Meg doing when insisting and asking what are the news? કોણ માં બન્યું છે, એ બાળક કોણ છે, પુત્ર છે કે પુત્રી છે, એ Meg શું કરે છે એના દ્વારા? તો એ PT ની power position તોડી રહી છે. She is breaking the power position of PT, which he has acquired by reading a newspaper, is broken by Meg by asking those questions incident. And that way she wants to tell that PT, you are important. PT, you are not able to give me a child also. That is how Meg is attacking. Now, as such, the language is a very normal language, very normal language. But even in the most normal language, the most possible normal language that we face, there is a very intricate power struggle that is felt. Earlier also, we have seen this example that in our day-to-day conversation, we find many times, if we read minutely, how power play and personality clash happens in very routine language, everyday language. It is very interestingly unfolding in there. And that is a very interesting scene that we can read as the power conflict between Meg and PT, also in that context there. This is another scene also there. So, and with this context, we'll keep on watching in the film that what many more things we can get in terms of power play and personality clash in this idea also there. Okay, so these are some of the interpretations that are there of this play. There are a few more things also which you can read, but read both these slides so you can tomorrow ask me some questions and we can quickly discuss those questions before we watch this film. Before the screening we can have. So your task for today will be to read all this material that we have opened right now. Okay, all this material which we are showing here, that you are supposed to go through it. Okay? Original play, have an overview of the original play. Marked sentences are given which can help you. A biography, we have gone through it. You can, if you want to, you can. It's not necessary now. A theater of absurd we have discussed, but you will get something more here. In Pinteresque, Pinteresque, read what is Pinteresque. We have briefly discussed. Few more things you will find here. Interpretations of the play and comedy of manners. Up till there, up till that point, go through this material, and tomorrow, if we have missed out any point today, and still if you think that after reading you are not able to understand, then ask those questions. So we will quickly discuss language. Language we will discuss tomorrow, and this article is here. Yeah, research articles. If you scroll down there, you find the research article, Pinter's Birthday Party, the Film and the Play by Harriet Irving Deer. By Harriet Irving Deer. Yes. The article, the film and the play, which we discussed, that will give us an interesting idea of reading this film study also. So this also we will briefly touch, and then we will have a quick watch of the play Birthday Party there. Okay. Okay. So any questions, if anybody has right now about this? Yes. Anybody, if you have any questions to ask, then you can let me know. Okay. Okay, so then we can call it a day today. So we'll have at 4 o'clock. I have a class with semester 1. So I'll get small break in between. So tomorrow be ready with this all things. So we will try to watch some of the scenes of the play, and we will discuss that. Okay?